Hello there.
Welcome, everybody. We are the Jedi Archives, and we do the Acolyte After Show every week. My name's John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Bryce.
And I want to get to our sponsors for our family vacation. As you can see, we have hyperspace props for all your cosplaying and sabbatical needs. Oh, should go a little faster. Use code BOONTA for 10% off your order at hyperspaceprops.com. Hyperspace Props is the title sponsor for Boonta Eve. SC, so special edition.
Special edition.
Yeah. So you can see hyperspaceprops.com right there. Yes, they're helping us greatly with putting on our family vacation, our Boonta Eve special edition. So special thanks to Hyperspace Props. All right, let's get into our show. Acolyte, episode 5. Is this night? Episode 9? Night.
Yes. Interesting because last week was day, so it should have been remember we kept talking about the dichotomous titles?
Yeah, like, it should have been night, day, and then this one could have been something else, but they kind of ruined it, but it's still good. I'm not complaining about that.
No.
You're this close to greatness. This close.
I really enjoyed this episode.
Initial thoughts, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Episode a lot.
I think most people liked it a lot. They definitely kicked up a gear, thank God. Got a lot of action.
Most people didn't, because on Rotten Tomatoes it's got like a 13%. So.
No, this episode. That's
well, yeah, it's because they all listen to Star Wars theory and its negativity. And
but for this episode, they have the ratings, and it's already there were like 100. I went to go rate it after I saw the episode, and there were like 100 zeros.
Well,
they haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah, I can't. There's not too. I had like one or two teeny tiny, but it's nothing. It's really nothing. But other than that, this was a really good episode.
I thought so too.
Direct continuation of last week's episode.
Yeah, it just took right off, which is nice.
And I like actually how they did the reveal. I know that on a prior show there were thoughts that, the Sith, as he likes to call himself with no name, was exactly who was it? Both you and Jonathan both thought that could be the same. And I was like, oh, it's too much Palpatine. Like I was wrong.
I was wrong. What are you saying? Are you asking what our predictions were? I predicted, what was his name? Chimere? What was his name?
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I was guessing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like, it wasn't during I don't think it was during the prediction show. I think it was during either.
Oh, yeah. Prediction show. I don't think we even predicted that.
You talked about it, and I just said I think it's too Palpatine to be that, and I actually really liked how they revealed him, and he had almost like and I can't remember his name, the original leader of Knights of Ren. He kind of had that bravado and that look to him. So I thought that was really cool too.
It'd be nice if, as you mentioned, Knights of Ren, that this ends up being some kind of splinter thing to eventually form into the Knights of Ren. So, but we'll see. Honestly, I'm thinking, because it's the rule of two, either he doesn't last very long, or he does splinter off and is no longer, becomes something else. Because pretty much he wants an acolyte, so I'm assuming he doesn't want an apprentice, so I'm assuming he's an apprentice, which I think most people are kind of guessing too.
That's what I thought too. I thought he's the apprentice. He's not the big bad.
Vernestra Rowe is the big bad. That's the new theory. Very Palpatine.
He's not one of the fallen 20. But
yeah, but they've already kind of ruined her character. But
yeah, when they shaved her head.
Yeah. She was such a fun character.
Maybe she lost all her hair because she's so old.
Mm-hmm.
No, she went bald. She's old.
Okay. But so I really enjoy it. I don't know if you want to talk more about that or wait till we get to that part, but I do have more on his reveal and all that.
No, I thought the reveal was cool. We can, since we're on that topic, I like how when they were discussing it with Yord, that she said he said that they could get into his mind and stay there, and then Osha tells them, "My mother used to do this. My mother would do that." Right. So then I thought, oh, that's some of the techniques because he said he didn't have the same techniques. He didn't not fight like a Jedi, didn't
Right.
follow the same rules, and then she mentioned, oh, my mother could do that. So obviously he's tied somewhat. The mothers are somewhat tied into, or the whole coven was connected to the Sith in some way, where they were doing things similarly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I think there's still more kind of piecing together, like even the woman, uh, what was her the the woman's name that actually carried the twins, right?
Coral, Mother Coral,
Right. So she even says, something about I carried them, and you don't want people to find out how you made them.
right?
Right. So there was kind of maybe something sinister, or at least something that
Unnatural,
unnatural about it. Um, yeah. And Kim, is it Kimir?
Chimera,
Kimir? Chimere?
Chimera.
I think it's supposed to be Chimera, like the Chimera, the mythical beast that has a bunch of different heads. So I think that's kind of where they pulled that from. Just guessing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I feel like there's that piece that still needs to be played out somehow. Um,
It would
and
be
then
real. Oh, sorry.
and then there's still the whole thing with Master Soul. He has something obviously from the Night of the Fire that he still hasn't dealt with. Um,
Right.
but he wants May and Osha to
OSHA.
be there, and obviously if you watch the episode, you see the little bit of a twist on what May does. So I'm kind of curious how that whole thing's going to play out.
Well, he definitely has something he wants to get off his chest.
Well,
And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to know, how does Chimera know about it? The only way I think Chimera would even know about that Soul has something to say is if he was there, which I doubt it. Even though he did have that weird line, "You don't remember me," or "Don't." That was a weird line.
but I think that was from the when the apothecary.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's kind of, it's still weird to say from that, but or his master, which my theory is really had something to do with the burning of the witches.
Yeah.
So I think
Well, I
his
think
master told him, because how would
he could have also found out through May because he's been mentoring May and working with her. He's really close to May, so May knows what happened because she was there. So he could have known through her what happened.
But there was something in the fourth episode that now that I watched it again, the fourth episode before doing the fifth yesterday, that I didn't really catch, but I caught last night was he Kamir says to May as they're walking in, is like she goes, well, so how was Osha when you saw her? And he goes in and he goes, oh, and he's talking about that. What's that one Master Soul? And then she stops for a second. Almost like, how do you know who Master Soul is? Right? Like there was that moment there of hesitation where she looks at him. He keeps going forward. And, and I never caught, he never left his backpack. Even when he went to get water, he took his backpack with him. Even though he was returning, he took his backpack with him. So there were a couple little nuances after watching it the second time. I was like, okay, there's a lot more to him than him just being, a junk dealer or whatever he was on,
Oh, that was a lie for sure. That was because he was never just a junk dealer. But I also did you notice how May told Osha that they had brainwashed her? So kind of like the Jedi must have done like a mind wipe, so she wouldn't remember things or remember things a certain way. So I'm thinking because she told her you're the one that burned that I would have died too. You saved my life. And May tells her, "Oh no," she goes, "You've been brainwashed by the Jedi." So I think that something else must have happened. Something like what you had mentioned earlier. I don't know if it was you, Bryce, or you, Jonathan, about how maybe they tried to put them to sleep with the bunta, but they overdid it, and so then to cover their tracks, they had to set it on fire. But it was an unintentional, uh, because they wanted to get the children away.
Yeah.
So, and that would make more sense why the other Jedi were so conflicted and going to the Barrage vow. And
Yeah, it's still my theory. It's a degree. But yeah, I don't know if May. I think May's being poisoned. As a child, I don't know if she's going to know a lot what's going on. I think when the Sith grabbed her, they even the Jedi brainwashed you. The Jedi did. That's just my theory. I think
Oh, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Something you said earlier about when May or is it Osha says my mother could get into Jedi's head too, which is really interesting.
Mhm.
It would be crazy. Fans would hate it, but if Anastasia was the actual like the Sith Master, that would be crazy, but people would hate it. I think it'd be pretty cool, but I don't know how much it'd make timeline wise, but
Well, this is about 15 years before Plague. 15 years before Palpatine is born. So it
So
could either
Plagueis could be the one pulling the strings here too.
Yeah.
Like,
or Plagueis is master, because Plagueis doesn't have to be the master when Palpatine is born. He could become the master after.
Yeah, and the whole Plagueis book isn't canon, so pretty much anything.
That's true.
unfortunately.
And you know Disney's messing around with birth dates, so like all that like is kind of unless it's somewhere in movie canon, I would say you have to ignore stuff like that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, because even books don't matter.
Yeah.
Books can be retconned too by Disney. Thanks, Disney.
I mean, it's gonna happen just because it's so much. There's no way so keep everything in line. It's just too much. Yeah.
Pablo's supposed to be on top of it.
Well, Pablo has made a few mistakes.
The problem is that all the people that make new shows and write new things want to do their own thing, and they just go against whatever's already been established. That's the problem.
That's true. That's
true.
Too.
So because they feel like they know what's best and they can do it better, and so it's an utter disregard for anything that's already in place.
Well, say if we wanted to make a movie, we would have some pretty cool ideas. But even with all your guys' knowledge, it'd be really hard to know every in and out. Like we bring in one character this character's birthday was different. I mean, it's just so much. I can't imagine it's even if you do research to get everything right.
But if you're going to bring in a character that's already established, I would think you would do your homework and at least find out when they were born. You know.
Oh yeah, they might have figured out this. We don't care. I think that happens too.
Yeah, they don't care.
That Ahsoka book, I think that's what happened. All her stuff, because that was pretty recent, her book. And then, what was it that canceled out the cartoon, the animated series? Mm-hmm. Canceled some of that out. I think really we appreciate your input, but we don't care.
And the thing is that they canceled it out with something that wasn't even better than what was already in the book. That's my gripe. Yeah. That the book was already good, and then they canceled it with something that was like mediocre. It's like, why would you do that? If it was going to be better, I'm okay with it, but it was mediocre at best.
Yeah. So what did you guys think about? First of all, they gotta give us his name real quick. The longer you hold off on his name, the bigger of a letdown. It's the Darth Stranger.
He said I'm nobody. He said I'm nobody.
Yeah,
you Jedi like to say Sith.
Yeah, so we have to give him a name. You have to put nobody on the package.
Zipper face.
So they're gonna give him Darth something. You know that.
Darth Zipper.
Yeah,
but Darth. He can't. He might not be a Darth though.
Yeah, he might not.
He could be a Kylo. We don't know.
Kylo doesn't really count. Kylo didn't really have a Sith master. I don't think Kylo is a Sith.
Kylo wasn't a Sith.
Yeah. So,
but he practiced Sith. in the Sith. He just wasn't officially.
Yeah, I don't think he did the Sith like mantra and the religion and all that part of it.
No, because Snoke wasn't.
Yeah, he did like the code, all that stuff. I don't think he had all that.
Snoke, and Snoke wasn't considered a Darth either. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Darth
Well,
Snoke.
it was
just
it
Supreme
was
Leader.
it was Palpatine though.
It is, but Palpatine worked through Snoke, but I don't know if you could really.
Snoke
then
was just
say,
his puppet though. Snoke was
right, but you could, but the teachings and stuff weren't the same as what he would have taught Maul or Dooku or Vader.
Well, I don't know.
And Ben Solo was never really.
When I read the comics, he had been calling to him ever since he was a child. So he was already beckoning to him. And if it was Snoke, but Snoke all along was Palpatine, then he was. And in the trainings that he has, when he has him fall and float above the jagged rocks, it seemed like it was training. And that training was, even though it was Snoke,
if I was
outwardly, it was still Palpatine teaching him.
Well, if I was Palpatine through Snoke, I'd be very wary about using the word Sith, because that would be something mentioned to Kylo. Kylo would immediately be like, "What?" So I don't know if I really ever call him Sith. That's why I don't think. To me, headcanon, that's why he didn't get a Darth. All the other Sith had Darths, and so Kylo was always this in the middle area. So, like Asajj, she never got a name either because she was.
No, she
never officially became Sith.
I'd say with Grievous, because Grievous was actually trained by Dooku.
But he was never a Darth.
And then
I think, So.
And then Savage was trained by Maul. Maul was a Darth, but never considered himself a Darth after coming back in the Clone Wars. He was just Maul.
Well, because he was stripped of his title.
Essentially, when Dooku became Darth Tyrannus, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'm saying is they need to give him a name soon. The longer they wait, because I saw Hasbro set called the Helmet the Stranger.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's not gonna work. It's like calling Baby Yoda the Child. We're gonna make up a name, so we're gonna call him Kylo Grin or.
And the longer they wait, the longer.
Grin.
Yeah, we're gonna give him some kind of name.
Kylo Grin.
Lord Zipperface.
Yeah, they gotta give him something, and we're gonna make up our own. So,
but
that's
you're right. They took so long to name Baby Yoda, the Baby Yoda stuck.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. If they don't get,
not in this house. So even my 7-year-old says Grogu.
I'm still Baby Yoda. I'm still Baby Yoda. Yeah, me and my nephew, Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda. But how do you think of it? I thought he looked awesome. His Baby presence Yoda? Was no. Kylo Grin. His character was great. He was great with the lightsaber. He had some really new techniques. What do you guys think of those techniques?
Looked really good. He looked really ripped too when he threw his arms out. I'm like, oh, because at first I thought, it might have been. I thought it might have been Mother Coral, underneath the helmet, because it was kind of like a thin frame, and I thought it might be a woman. It might be Mother Coral.
Nope.
But when the arm came out, I'm like, oh, that is not Mother Coral's arm.
You know why I knew it was always a guy? It's because every time they referred to him, they would say he, and I just know. If it was a girl, they wouldn't have called it a he. That's how they never said something else. And they kept saying, he's going to kill you, or he's here, or something like that. I'm like, it's a dude. Yeah, just because she showed her hand. But I thought it was cool that whatever was going on with his ability to turn off lightsabers or disrupt them.
Oh, that was cortosis. So cortosis is a metal that is mined on Mokiv, and I love it because that's connected to Black Spire Outpost. So that's really cool because when Padme goes to Black Spire Outpost in the Thrawn book, this is a Thrawn book that goes back and forth between Clone Wars and then Vader time.
So when Anakin's at the bar, he has his flashbacks.
Yes, that one. Anakin's at the bar. So she gets kidnapped because she goes looking for her handmaiden.
Is that alliances? Was that
alliances? Yes, Thrawn alliances. Thank you. And so in Thrawn alliances, in the Clone Wars period, when Padme goes there and she gets kidnapped, she finds out that they are mining cortosis, and cortosis is a metal that was in the EU, but it's also in canon because it's in the new books as well. And the cortosis can absorb any kind of energy. Like if you shoot a blast at it, it absorbs the blast or it can deflect it, almost like what do the Mandalorians wear? The not
Beskar.
Beskar.
Beskar, but different from Beskar because it can also short circuit lightsabers. So when a lightsaber strikes it, or it's notice he headbutt their lightsabers, and when
Yeah.
he headbutt the blade or the saber
They
itself,
were
would
temporarily
spark.
disabled.
Right. It was temporary, but it would short circuit it, but it would come back. But that has to be cortosis because that's canon it's canon now, and it was also in the EU. So I was really excited about that. When I saw it, like, oh, that's cortosis. When I saw the sparks, I knew it right away. So that means his
Hmm.
helmet must be made of cortosis, which is a malleable metal. I'm not even looking at my notes. That was a cool one. Let me pull it up. Cortosis was a metal that could be found on planets Dinzo and Mokij. Cortosis, and remember on Mokij, when Anakin wants to get rid of, when he rescues Padme, I don't know if you remember the book, when he wants to not allow it's not the Empire, it's the Separatists to mine the metal, he decides to blow it up. But when he blows up the mine, he doesn't realize that the cortosis would shoot back whatever energy went into it. So then he throws into the mine, but it ends up ruining the planet, so that the blast goes outwards and starts destroying the planet. And so then they then have to transport everybody who was on Smoky to Black Spar Outpost to Batu because that was the nearest planet. And that's how a lot of the
Wow.
people ended up there. So that was pretty cool. So it has a very high energy absorption rate and transmission coefficients, which allow even the energy of a blaster bolt to be dissipated upon contact. One of the strongest minerals in the galaxy, cortosis can even withstand the blow of a lightsaber and briefly short out its blade. So definitely cortosis mask and maybe some cortosis armor, which is really cool.
Yeah, no, that's unique. That's cool.
I knew something was going up, and I saw some people post online about cortosis.
So, do we
I'm like,
think
oh.
Kylo's mask was made out of the same thing?
No, Darth Smiley.
No.
Just Darth Smileys.
Well, no, because if it's supposed to be like one of the strongest materials, Kylo just smashes it against the elevator wall, right, or something like that.
True, but it also gets reforged. But it seems like it has maybe some different properties than like. I mean, Darth Vader's helmet really wasn't anything but really a breathing apparatus. Kylo really didn't need it, so. But it was definitely made out of a lot different material. It was a metal, not a plastic.
Almost like it shattered, not like Vader's would have cracked or something. It was very different. Yeah. It's very. I mean, I saw when the Hasbro had put up their pictures. I thought it was Kylo's from the back. It's like identical to Kylo's. So there's a lot of familiar things with Kylo's. So it's definitely cool. I'm definitely gonna get it. Super cool. Super scary.
It is cool.
Yeah, excited for that. Yeah, I mean the action scenes this guy was doing was something else.
Yeah, how about Jackie though? Soul's Padawan. I thought she was really for a
great
Padawan,
right up until the end, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, they all got killed, but we knew they were all going to die because nobody can know. And even Darth Smiley says, since we're a secret, nobody can know. That means you all have to die.
Yeah, he pretty much says it exactly, lays it all out. I'm like, well, that's kind of helps confirm the Ki-Adi-Mundi stuff, like that line. So, like, you all got to die. We've been saying it's like they all got to die. So pretty much,
right?
No, but it definitely puts a shadow over the whole series. Like, is this guy that's going to end? They're all going to die.
That's how Rogue One was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you know what? You know what was interesting too?
Rogue One was done in such a completely different way, and was at such a precise moment that it went right into A New Hope. So it was like one big line of events.
Right. But how about when he tells Soul, because Soul tells him he was just a child, and then he tells it, yeah, and you brought it here.
He broke up there. What'd you say?
When Soul tells Kylo Grin that Jackie was just a child, and then Kylo Grin tells him, yeah, and you brought her here, so who's to blame? In other words, it's Soul's fault that she got killed for bringing her to this place that was so dangerous. He knew it was dangerous.
I mean, that's what you say when you reveal to get inside their head. That's what I would have said.
I think there's a little bit more to it, though.
I think he's poking at him too because he has his guilt. Soul has
Yeah.
his guilt, and he's
I
just
think
adding to that guilt.
yeah, getting under his skin. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I would have said the same thing.
But it is true.
Yeah.
He's the one that brought her there. If he knew it was so dangerous, why would he bring his Padawan?
Right.
Well, they did bring 8 Jedi to meet another Jedi. They didn't expect to run into a place that has a Jedi station. I don't think is deemed as that dangerous. The person they were chasing was, as far as they know, minimalist Force user. I think they brought plenty of what they thought they were going to run into.
For
Actually,
May, right.
that was a little actually overkill. 8 people for just May, but
Yeah.
they didn't expect to run into a Sith apprentice with indestructible lightsaber canceling armor. So,
Well, I'm curious, and I think Yord had the crew, but Soul, because he brought
Osha.
Jackie and Osha, was allowed to go. So they weren't originally part of Yord's horde that went.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They were only allowed to go because Master
brought
Soul even
Osha.
said that the only way that we can go on this mission is if you come with me.
Osha.
Because he was told no.
Right. Vernestra told him no, that he was not going.
Jedi have brought their Padawans on missions for tens of hundreds of thousands of years.
Well, of course, I know that's what
Yeah.
they do, but the thing
Yeah.
is that he was right. You know, if the Jedi are so wonderful, why are they always putting their younglings and their Padawans in the face of danger? Because they do it repeatedly. This isn't the first time that Padawans are. I mean, Anakin took Ahsoka into battle, and it wasn't safe, but she made it out. But
Was it
all the ones who don't,
iron sharpens iron? That's all.
I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. If you wait till they're 23 to take them out, they might not be that elite. I mean, Ahsoka is elite because she started at a young age. I mean, when it
Right.
comes to lightsaber skills, she's top tier. She stood toe to toe with the elite Vader, Prime Vader. So, yeah.
And Jackie also fought like Ahsoka with Kelnaka's saber and her own. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I thought Kilnaka's was a crossbeam, and I never saw that.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No, he had the elemental look to his
Yes.
because his hilt nose long and
So I was thinking of Buryaga. Yeah.
Yeah.
did Burry have
Buryaga did. His is like a big tree, and his definitely had a cross guard.
His is huge.
I just thought they both had cross guard.
I thought it was pretty funny when Chimere tells May when he has her and he tells her, and Jackie comes over. He's like, "You can learn from this Padawan. She's loyal." So that was pretty funny.
So that was my question. What was? It looked like he was chasing down Osha. Does he want to kill May and now take Osha as a Padawan?
No, he was chasing May. No, he was chasing May.
But to kill May, like to kill her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at one point he throws her up against the rocks and force holds her in place.
But so May, I remember Osha when he threw the lightsaber, it was hitting towards Osha. Like he was going to kill Osha too, and then Soul intercepted it. That's when Soul came in and it chopped all those trees down. It was going to get her too, so he was just going to kill everyone. I guess that was his plan.
Yeah. I think so because he wants a pupil, but May is not it because she betrayed him, so he needs to find somebody else. But I think he might settle for Osha because he found Osha's unconscious body and then he force healed her.
Well, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and then I think she's a pretty easy turn if he can get her. Hey, the Jedi lied to you this whole time.
Right.
I mean, yeah. So
They're
I think
the
that's
one that's the fire. You know, he can start telling her things.
yeah.
Moving.
So, but excited. I'm assuming Soul knows it's May and isn't kind of falling for her deception, or do you think he doesn't know it's May?
In the moment, I don't think he knows it's May.
Yeah, I think it's May.
No.
But Basil does. Basil knows it's
Basil knows. That
because
is
he was
that is
sniffing.
correct.
He was sniffing Pip, and he kept looking at May, and it's like that's not Osha.
Yeah.
which is cool because Basil's a Tinin, and the Tinins in that 1978 novel were also heroes. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I did see some of that. They were really old school, and they ended up bringing them back, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So, any other things you wanted to touch upon? I wanted to touch upon. This is one of my small complaints.
Mhm.
And you know what? Every show, not every show, a lot of shows have done this. Austin Powers has done this. He had him dead to rights. He goes, you can go. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That drove me nuts, that scene.
They always do that.
They always do that. It's just, I guess it's a writer's mechanism, but man, if you don't kill him, at least capture him to take him, and then you gotta just let him go. And just like,
well, when they with the bug, you mean with the bugs?
Yeah, they just let him go.
I'd almost assume that they might have thought like they could have overwhelmed him.
But then that's still killing him. If their thoughts were the bugs are going to kill him or he's going to get away, only two options. You're still, in a sense, indirectly killing him. Why not just kill him? Or the thing I thought they should have done is do the old Dooku and chop his hands off. That's what I would have done. But it would have made good storytelling. But god damn it, that shit drives me nuts when I see that in movies. Like, you have got to be kidding me. I'm screaming at the TV. It's like, and you can't, like, you just killed 8 Jedi, and you're just in a duel with him, and almost killed you, almost killed Osha, almost killed May, and you finally got him, and you step away. I was heated. But
Slow went kind of dark side there, though, for a minute.
Not dark enough.
But he touched the dark side for sure. He touched the dark side.
I mean, you could see, Zipperface kind of smiling, like, here we go. Here's something.
At one point, I thought that maybe Soul is going to be Zipperface's apprentice.
You mean Master?
No, his apprentice. Then he might take him as his apprentice.
Like Zipperface takes Soul as his apprentice?
Mm-hmm.
But not yet, right? You mean eventually?
Not yet.
Okay.
Eventually, because there's a lot of darkness in Soul that we don't. A lot of secrets about Soul we don't know about.
Yeah. I don't think there's darkness. I just think he dealt with the unfortunate situation. So I don't think that considers darkness.
But I think he has the potential to be tipped.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other notes you guys want to touch on? I know you have a lot, Mike.
Nope.
That's about it?
That's
it.
No, I just like the ending of it, where May cuts her hair with the lightsaber and changes her, obviously her costumes to look like Osha and get on there. Again, we touched on it with
but how is he
Basil.
going to notice the
I thought about that too.
rolls on her forehead?
Yeah, we'll see if he notices it later.
Well, the other thing too is that Osha has the mechanic tattoo on her arm,
Right.
and May doesn't.
Right.
But May always wore long sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's wearing Osha's short sleeves. Her civilian outfit, or whatever they call it.
Well,
Civilian robes, yeah.
That was funny. So, yeah.
All right, what do you guys, Black, do you have any, what's the word? What predictions of what's going to happen next?
I think there's going to be more twists and turns because that's what, excuse me, that's what Hedlund likes to do. I got this cough. You contaminated me, Jonathan.
I haven't been there yet.
Through Zoom. You're next, Bryce.
I got you a computer virus.
But I think there's going to be more twists and turns yet. But I really like this episode. And I always use my husband as a gauge because he's not a super Star Wars fan. So he's kind of like, he'll watch something only if it's enjoyable to him. And he really liked this episode. So he doesn't have any of the complaints or baggage that Star Wars fans might have or come with. So he really enjoyed that episode. That means that it's going to be a great on-ramp for new Star Wars fans that might not be interested in Star Wars, but will like this, and then start getting into the franchise.
Yeah, I think more twists and turns. I think even more, though. I think we got 3 episodes left. That's what's rough. We only got
Yeah.
an hour and a half left, maybe an hour and 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Not a lot of time, so they got to wrap this up. I think, obviously, Soul confesses. Unfortunately, he's going to confess to May and not Osha. But we still need the flashback of the Jedi, so maybe that's how he confesses it. But maybe they'll do something funny with the screens, like Soul's telling Osha May, and then Zipperface is telling Osha at the same time. They'll kind of do flashing in between. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they got to figure something out. So we got to find that out, and we got to find out his name. And I don't think we necessarily have to find out if he has a master this season. That can be next season, maybe a cliffhanger or something.
If they do another season.
Well,
doesn't look hopeful.
I know, like I've said this 100 times, ratings, they do go a little bit, but really the bottom dollar is viewership, and this show's had a ton of viewership. So this is the any news is good news thing. Yeah, people are crying about it, but they're watching. So you're watching. That's what Disney wants. So they're watching. If they deem it successful, which is going to be a certain amount of views.
Well, you know what? People are definitely talking about it.
Yeah,
so that's good.
And you have to wrap up the series somehow. You cannot have something before the prequels end like on a cliffhanger, then cancel it. You have to wrap it up. So either they're going to wrap it up in this season, or if there's a cliffhanger, they're going to wrap it up next season.
They didn't wrap up Book of Boba Fett, by the way.
Book of Boba Fett is still in the future, though. Like, it's still...
I get it. It's still Mandalorian time.
Yeah.
And he can weave his way back in there, but we all call it Mando Season 2.5 anyway.
Yeah, what was there a cliffhanger in Book of Boba Fett?
It's just that he wasn't sure if he was cut out for
Daimo
being a Daimo, like, and having all this thing, like he.
Yeah, I think he shows up in Ahsoka and they say, "Oh, here's our great Daimo Tatooine," and so I don't know. I don't think it's. Yeah, I didn't feel like I needed more, of the story needed more on that one. But if this ends on a cliffhanger, then definitely you have to have more.
Would have been cool to see him then go back to his roots, right? Him and Fennec just decide, hey, I'm not going to do this. Like, I'm going to go back to being who I was.
Yeah, that's what the animated series should be. Boba Fett and
I would
Shane.
love Tales of the Bounty Hunter. Unfortunately, it's also Tales of the Bounty Hunters is also a book in the EU titled exactly that.
I need an animated show, not a snippet thing. Disney hasn't announced anything. We got to have something on the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Andor. We got Andor season 2.
No, animated.
I don't.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I don't know. Dave's so busy with live
but
action.
I don't think Dave had a lot.
Season 2 of Young Jedi Adventures.
Something that people want to watch,
and that's great because
people are watching that.
Trust me,
a lot of preschoolers are watching Young Jedi Adventures,
and not even that full blown adults.
Yeah, but I mean the thing. It's won award. It has won award.
No, it's very good. It's very good.
Very good. You know what? I'm gonna get nubs over here. I'm gonna stick nubs on you.
Sit your nub on me.
So we're gonna wrap things up. Please check out Hyperspace Props for all your cosplay and sub beats. Please use code Bunta for 10% off your order at www.hyperspaceprops.com. Been actually checking it out while we were recording here. Very cool website. Please check it out. And they are the title sponsor for Boot Eve Special Edition.
Thank you, Hyperspace Props.
Too many things to do. There we go. Are we up now? Yeah. All right. Follow us on YouTube at Virtual Cantina Network, on Instagram at virtual.cantina network, on Twitter at Virtual Cantina, on Threads at virtual.cantina network, on Hive at Virtual Cantina, and on TikTok at Virtual Cantina. Why is this so much faster than the other one? The other one's like moving slow around. This one's like it's hard to keep up.
And make sure you like the VCN's Star Wars Celebration Japan 25 Facebook page. And as always, thank you to our partner pages, Star Wars Comic Book Club and Star Wars Book
Book
Nerds.
nerds.
Please comment, like, subscribe. Mostly we want comments just for interaction. We love to hear from you guys, and we love to talk to you guys, and love to hear how Mike's usually wrong, because you guys usually agree with that. So I love it.
Whatever. May the force be with you.
May the force be with
May the
you.
force be with you.
Everyone. Live long and prosper.